Thank you, Farooq. And thank you all. Thank you everyone online. And thank you, David, for this beautiful venue. I pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land we are on. This land was, is, and will always be your land. So over the next 40 minutes, or maybe a little bit more, since it was quite short, we will look at meditation. Right? So now I will give a short introduction, and what I really want is for us to immerse ourselves and practice and experience it. There's time for Q&A afterwards, and so keep your questions till then, and I will try my best to answer. So meditation is a big topic, and today we can glimpse some of its approaches, some of its techniques. We look at some meditation techniques from yoga, yogic sciences, and some from Buddhism, and how they can be used to benefit you. So there will be this brief talk, and then lots of practice, and then some review of the practice, and then the Q&A. Okay. I would rather that in the meditation you just forget about everything and go into the guidance and what has to be done. Okay? So keep any notes and all away, right? Later, you can take them now. So today, meditation is associated with mindfulness and concentration. In fact, the word mindfulness, I hear it all the time, especially in the mental health settings where I find it is often talked. I hear in support groups the word mindfulness a lot. And I know that mindfulness helps people even with mental illness. So, and also concentration. But meditation is not equal to mindfulness and concentration. They are both part of meditation, but meditation is much more, right? So you can say that mindfulness is a stepping stone to meditation, or concentration is definitely a stepping stone to meditation. Meditation includes them. If you can teach, meditation can teach you to be mindful and manage your distractions so that you can concentrate. And having done that, meditation can take you on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. In Buddhism, meditation is a method of knowing what the mind's true nature is. Right? We use various methods. We all know that the mind has a mind of its own. Right? You can want to do something, but you will end up doing something else because your mind told you to do that. Right? You might want to say something, but then your tongue might run away, and you might end up harming somebody, maybe with your words. You might want to act an action, but you might end up doing another action, right? Depending on how your mind is going and taking you in the different direction. So, yeah. So meditation, Buddhist meditation techniques will cultivate an awareness of what your mind is. How does it react? How does it guide you, and what you can do? And from that point of awareness, it will slowly bring you back into a position where you can manage it. That is the Buddhist meditation techniques. Yoga looks at it, in fact, these are the general techniques. There are lots and lots of techniques in Buddhism. The yogic method that I learned, there are many there are many aspects of mind beyond the physical body. This is the body that you can see. This is the physical. But you also get subtle bodies. And when you say mind, we usually think of brain. But in yoga, there are many minds. So you have many minds. There is the physical mind, there is the emotional mind, there is the mental mind, and there is the spiritual mind. All these minds have a corresponding body and a corresponding element like fire or water or earth, and it has its corresponding intelligence. So the bodies, these multiple bodies that we have, apart from our body that you can see, are governed by chakras. And the chakras are like power centers, like energy centers. There are 7 chakras that we work with, and you can call them like energy hubs each, and so it goes on a progression of from the physical to subtler levels in your body. Sorry, the weather is playing, start affecting me. Yeah. Okay. All these minds, so there is an obvious physical body that we can see, right? Everything solid that we can touch and hold, that is the physical body. Then there is the emotional body. The physical body chakra is the Muladhara chakra. It's at the base of your spine. You can think of it like a hub, right? Then there is the emotional body. This is associated with water, the water element. And you can think tears, emotions, right? So that is the emotional intelligence body with your water element and the next chakra. It's just near your navel. These are not physical regions of they're approximate areas, right? Then there is the fire body, also known as your mental body. That is your solar plexus. It's attached to the fire, element fire, and it governs your sense of self, your ego, right? Who am I? If it's not functioning well, you're really, really proud, arrogant, walk on everybody. If it functions weakly, you have no self. You're just placid and giving into everything. But if it's balanced, you're nice and balanced, right? Then there is the heart, the spiritual body. Now this is two parts. There is the lower spiritual body and the higher spiritual body. The lower spiritual body is attached to air, the element air, and it's the Anahata chakra. It's a very big chakra. And yoga also divides the person, at least my yoga system, divides the person into 2. So below half your heart, you can imagine, is your lower body, lower energies. Upper is the higher energies. And there are circuits. So you have your 7 chakras, your physical chakra, your emotional chakra, your mental chakra, your spiritual chakra. And then within this heart area is the chakra beyond the chakras, the ether chakra, right? There, if you get to that point, you are not affected by all that goes on, the drama that goes on in the other chakras. So you balance it and you travel inwards. Okay. So your chakras positions, and I'm going to tell you because we're going to be doing a meditation on the chakras. A base of spine, navel, just below the navel, solar plexus, heart, throat, here, and top of your head. When this is purified. If it is blocked because you're eating bad foods and stuff like that, right? You're just living a bad lifestyle, then this is blocked. It won't connect with up, with your top chakra, the uppermost chakra. But if you change your life habits, so you clear it, then there's a circuit. So your body is an instrument, right? Now it's no longer just you. You've got a new perspective of your body. If your emotional body connects with here, right? And your solar plexus body connects it here, and then your heart opens, and then you go in, right? So that's how that system works. And it does this with exercise, yoga, and sound that reverberates in those hubs and sort of activates them and gets them working, clears them up a bit, shakes them a bit. So it's a whole hour of sound, but we're not going to do that. We just do the first step of sounds, which I think you will all know, because it is like do, re, mi, so, fa, si, la. Okay. But it's going to be the Sanskrit one, you know, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, right? So that's what we're going to be chanting today. So it's the same as tuning an instrument. You're going to be tuning your body. Okay. Now in Buddhism, there's another thing, is that body, speech, and mind. When you act, you do something, it's your intention that guides you. So your intention, and then the words you speak, and the actions you do, that is this complete circle of an action, right? So what we'll use some sounds that will purify those actions, right? So we'll be doing that. And so today's sequence of meditation, we will start with the universal sound, which is Om, the sound of all sounds. It is an invocation for good body, speech, and mind. Then we will break it down a little bit, and we'll do Om, Hum. Now, Om in that sense is invocating. Hu, is pure speech. Hum is pure mind, right? So those three. We're going to work on that. We'll work on that, and during that time you'll also have to do some work, other thoughts. What you do with your mind in a meditation is very important. The mind, you know, it gets distracted, and that's very, very normal. Everybody's mind gets distracted, especially now. So there is a way to tame that mind, or bring it under control. So that is called like Vipassana meditation. That is a technique where you focus, you bring your mind to the breath, and that's inside the nostrils, and you just watch the breath go in and watch the breath go out. You just keep your attention there. Now when you do that, what will happen is something will come to distract you. Then you name it. You just say, okay, that's a distraction. Okay, that's food, that's hunger. Just give it a label and drop it. Okay? Because you can come back to that another time. So that's how you get rid of distractions. You just simply identify them, acknowledge them, do not engage them. Okay, because if you engage, then you're going to be putting your energy there, and it's going to grow. So just, yeah, that's confusion, that's laziness, that's distraction, that's Dominic at home, right? Okay. So things like that, and then bring your back your attention back to the breath. What you're supposed to be doing. Because sometimes one of my monks told me something very useful. So sometimes when you meditate, you sometimes, because I'm very sensitive to energy, I see things. So he said, look, you have no business seeing those things, right? Even if the Buddha is standing in front of you, no, you're supposed to be doing your nose breath. Yeah. So don't go overboard on anything that you experience. Just simply, you're supposed to be doing this. This is my goal at this moment. This is what I'm going to be doing, right? So that was very useful. Another thing is, don't try too hard, because if you try too hard, a good thing is like when you watch the sunset, you want to enjoy it, right? So you don't grab the sun or focus fiercely on the sun. You just sit with it, right? So those are techniques. So let's start. Okay. I'm going to sit. Your meditation posture, you can sit upright with your back straight, your feet on the ground. Your hands, you can do that. You can put them like this. This is a posture for meditation. Okay. And keep your shoulders, relax your shoulders. And just simply forget everything. You can keep bend your head slightly as though you're looking at your heart, but you can keep it your eyelids closed, or you can open them just so a sliver of light comes in. Coughing or anything is okay. Okay. So don't feel embarrassed, just cough. I might also cough. Okay. So let's start. And we'll start with the sounds Om. I'll say the first Om, and after that you can follow, okay, with me. So, you can say it if you like. If you do not want to say it, then be quiet. Use the silences to observe your body and see how it feels, how it relaxes, or how it is responding to the sounds. Now, we will set an intention for this meditation. Why are we doing this? We can set an intention to make it our body, speech and mind pure for my own good and for the good of others. If you like, you can use your mind's eye to see the image of your own spiritual guide. It could be the Buddha, it could be Jesus, it could be Allah. You can see or you imagine they are right in front of you, because they would represent the benchmark, the perfected body, speech and mind. And this is what you are trying to also do. you can connect with that being. Or if you do not have somebody like that, you can place your own self in front, the fully perfected body, speech, mind version of you, and connect with that. We will use the sounds Om, Ah, Om. Om is invocation for the body. Ah is invocation for pure speech. Hum is invocation for pure mind. When I will say the sounds and you keep your attention on your intention, pure body, pure speech, pure mind. When I breathe, when I say Om, place your intention on your in-breath. So take an in-breath. Ah, hold the breath, and Hum, breathe out. Okay, we will try it once. Imagine your spiritual guide or yourself, perfected with body, speech and mind in front of you. And this is what you are trying to achieve. Om, in breath. Hold breath. Out breath. Use the time to be with yourself. Now we will tune our bodies using the sounds of music. Place your attention at the base of your spine, where your earth body sits. The sound is Sa. You can say it or you can be quiet. Again. Sa. Again. Use the sound to be with your earth body. Now move to just under your navel, where sits your emotional body, your water body. Re is the sound. Again. Again. Now move to your solar plexus, your fire body. The sound is Ga. Again. Again. Move to your heart. Ma. Again. Move to your throat, where your communication center. Pa is the sound. Now move to the spot just between your eyebrows, a little bit above. The is the sound. Of your head, you top the crown, center of the crown, knee, observe your reactions. Use the silence to just scan yourself. See how your body is doing. Gather your energies and focus on your heart. Adjust your posture if you have. Make sure your back is straight. Your head is slightly bent forward. Take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. Now bring your attention to your nostrils, just inside, and begin to watch your breath. Watch cool breath go in so naturally. And warm breath come out of you. Keep your attention inside your nostrils, watching the breath brush its way in brush its way out. When thoughts distract you, simply name them and let them go. Be with your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Now follow your breath as it enters you, as it goes down the back of your throat and into your lungs. Become aware of how your chest expands with breath and contracts as it goes out. Become aware of your breathing in, nourishing your body, and breathing out, cleansing your body. Breath breathing in, nourishing you. Breath breathing out, cleansing you. Cleansing, nourishing your whole body. Just this little breath that enters on its own and leaves on its own. Be grateful for the breath. This breath and your body interacting, nourishing, cleansing, chest expanding, contracting, and behind your lungs, your heart is beating. Be with your heart. Your heart too is working, nourishing, cleansing, all on its own. Your breath breathing, your heart beating. Be so grateful for this breath, these lungs, this heart, this body. It is your temple. Feel the breath as it goes into your lungs, your heart beating, taking the breath to every corner of your body, from the top of your head to your feet, to your toes, to your fingertips. This breath, which is outside of you, going inside you and your body, working together. Spend a little time with this wondrous breath and this wondrous body, appreciating it, feeling gratitude. Feel your breath go in, nourishing you, nourishing every corner of your body. And your breath go out, cleansing you, cleansing every corner of your body. This is yourself, your body, your temple. Now move a little beyond yourself to the other people in this room. They too are breathing just like you. Their breaths nourishing and cleansing them. Our bodies may not be perfect, but they are wonderful, and we are grateful for them. And go beyond the people to this room. The floor, the seat, the walls, the ceiling. Without these, and without all of us here, this would not happen. See how we are connected in this room. We would not be sitting here if not for each of us, if not for this room. And then all the things that went into making this room, all the things that went into making the chairs that we sit on, all the people who worked on them, they too are connected to us at this moment. Many hands worked on this room over time. Many hands worked on these chairs. Many hands worked on our clothes, our shoes, all the things we take with us. And below this room is the earth that holds and supports us. How wondrous is that? We have been helped at this moment by so many people. We are grateful and thankful for all those connections that contributed to this moment. Material things that are here. The earth supported most of them. The creatures of the earth that supported them. If there was wood, if there is wood, think of all the creatures who supported that tree that made the wood. And the elements outside, the water, the wind, the earth, the air, all of that supported this moment. There is so much abundance in our life. If we think that we are alone, but if we pause for a moment, we will see how supported we are at any one moment. Now, think about these thoughts in your heart. See yourself in this vast network, this vast web of light. We are all connected. We are all supported in so many ways. Hold the thought. Hold that thought of connection. Of abundance, of gratitude. Breathe in, breathe out. Watch your breath again as it nourishes and cleanses. spread love to all who are in this room. Share that gratitude, that abundance. In this room, beyond this room, onto the roads, the neighborhood. This Monash, Victoria, Australia, and the world. Use the silence to be with yourself. Slowly come back. We will say one more Om and listen the sound of peace. Okay. So, in a little while I will say Om, and then we will say Shanti, 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 which means peace, peace, peace. When you are ready, you can open your eyes. Maybe 6 minutes or
I didn't feel. Didn't notice the passage at all.
You were the first one who could keep me quiet for so long.
It was really, really great. Yes. There was a period where you were saying something. I became completely unaware of, because I had gone into somewhere that whatever was being said just didn't sort of, wasn't there for me.
okay. That's great. Any questions?
I'm not here.
Well, I'm glad. That's good.
It's been very, you're in a zone at the moment, which is not the zone that was there when we came in.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
So we can those sounds, you know what you say, you can practice at home.
Yes.
Om and
I actually,
if you write it,
yeah, I actually saw some things, and Sarigama is actually used by many gurus.
Yeah.
So I found the Sarigama Pada link, one that is very suitable, which I can send to everybody.
Nice.
And you can, and that has Sarigama Pada Nisa, and then down again. So you can just go into a zone and listen to that. You know,
Simple.
I can send you that.
They teach music and all.
Yeah,
That's what they.
yes. There is a Indian, there's an Indian guru. She's known as Ma.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
In Daleena?
Yeah, no, not in Lanka. She's around the world, everywhere. She's, but she has a presence here too. And she uses Sarigama, Pada, Nisa, and more words, more sounds, because there are a few more sounds. Yeah. Are you okay? Good. Thank you.
No, I felt much for a couple of times.
Sitting in complete silence itself is good meditation.
Yes, yes.
I mean, the thoughts did come, and we also try to stop and observe.
Tag and dismiss. Not dismiss, but tag and
Let it go
let
past.
it go past.
And
Yeah, they use the energy of clouds. Clouds are moving, you don't touch them. They pass. Yes. The meditations that we used for this, the quiet meditation, was the techniques we used is Vipassana, to stop and to quiet the mind, and then Samatha, or also called analytical meditation. So in Buddhism, they use that to you can do it with your prayers. You know, you just run them in, like roll them over in your mind, and then you try to get to the heart of the message in that prayer or whatever, the teaching. So then once you get to that, there is a realization. It's not the same as knowing. Like for example, we do meditate on death. Now we all know that we're going to die, right? Someday, but we actually have to meditate on death. And it's not in a morbid way. It's like, okay, so what are you doing with your life now? Because one day you will. So the realization that we will die, and any moment, it can be today or next 20 years later, right, is a wake-up call. So you roll it over. There are certain things we consider about death, and then suddenly it's that realization comes, and it is like you wake up. Oh yes, I mean, I knew I was going to die, but oh yes. And then what am I doing about it? And then you hold that thought, and that's called placement meditation. You hang on to that, and you just hold on to that as long as you, for some time, and then it becomes like part of your nature. You do it enough times. So we have like 21 meditations of various topics like that and this and that. And then we do them every day, one a day. You can do like one for a week if you want, or one a day, and then this next topic and the next topic, 21. And then when we finish, we come back to number 1 and we start all over again. So, and then that way, what happens is, after a while, you get these realizations, the concentration gets focused. And then from that point onwards, you start cultivating what is called bodhicitta, which is called compassion. But compassion means not just knowing that somebody is being kind or something, but actually there are levels, like 6 levels of compassion. So then you start learning that, or trying to do that. It's not easy, right? Because the mind tends to, our survival instincts are very strong. So the way it has helped me is, it has made me cope peaceful. Even like big storms, I can weather. Yeah.
What do you think of guided meditation? Because I mean, this is really good. And I could sort of feel, that I had gone for a short while to that space where you become oblivious of your surrounding,
Right.
the people that are there,
Yes.
and you want to hold that,
Yeah.
and then you come back. So,
Yes.
In guided meditation, you transport yourself to a place that you want to be, and there's somebody who's telling you. I mean, I go to Brahma Kumaris quite often, and there we do guided meditation. So, what's your thoughts on that?
It is good. There are different meditation techniques, and different yoga techniques. And what I've heard from all my gurus is that you have so many techniques because there's one to suit the person. Yeah, so you can have a choice. Like mantra meditation may not be for everybody. I mean, there are people in the classes who really get the benefit, and some people who just don't like it. They just go way after the yoga. Yeah, so that's it. It's like that.
May I ask, what do you suggest is a beneficial or most effective length of time to practice meditation?
It depends on the person, I think. If you are able to meditate, and depending on your schedule, right? So if you are like very busy person, at least keep like 15 minutes is okay, right? If you're not able, if you get distracted easily, you can just have 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and then as you learn to manage it, because it will be difficult for a while, but then it's a learning curve. After a while, you'll say, hey, I actually did it well today. And also, even if you can do it well, there'll be days when you cannot, right? Days when you're too distracted and all that. So that's also okay, Yeah, so depending on your schedule, but some people get hooked on meditation and start doing it all the time. I think that's a bit, if you want to do that, that's okay. Because sometimes it can feel so good, But there are, unless you want to be a nun or something, then there is a lady who went and stayed in a cave for a very long time, many years, 14 years or something like that. There's one very famous nun, she's American, and she stayed in a cave for 14 years. Or to meditate and get realizations.
Yeah.
In a tiny little cave somewhere in Nepal or
No, I always think that best way to come to realization is to be amongst people. That there are so many conflicts, so many clashes, so many different expectations. But when I'm in a cave, I have nothing to worry about, really.
No, you only worry about
I worry about me and
the
my
wood
loneliness.
and the wood.
But the biggest challenge is to really find yourself amongst such
Right,
vast and diverse rivers, really.
Yeah.
That's a different technique
Mm.
Self-realization.
for different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, you have one of the most soothing and beautiful voices.
I'm glad that
That's
you can benefit.
Can I please go back to the origin of this? Because I think in the introduction that Prabhupada, I think you started with with one of the gurus in
Yes.
India.
Yeah.
So I suppose you started with the Hindu
Yes.
practices
Yes.
of the thing. So what made you to go to the Buddhist side? Although I can see that they are related, but what
Yeah.
was your transformation from one branch to the other branch?
It is a strange story that I will share. I grew up in Sri Lanka. I didn't have that much connection with Buddhism, or even with some of the deities that like there was a temple down our road. I hardly went. Right. I was involved in my work and my life. And then when I started doing this meditation, after a while, I began to see Buddhas. And then also, in my imagination, in my, my experience, meditative experiences, that guru he was not like the monk who said, don't, even if the Buddha is standing in front of you, just say Buddha and go back to your meditation, to the breath. So that guru would ask us about our experience, and people would have some pretty wild experiences. And then, but I had these Buddhism things, and then I started bumping into Buddhist monks and nuns, like accidentally, and then soon I had various experiences that led me into more and more contact with Buddhists. And then then I got a lady who was a lay person, but because I had a particular experience, she said, oh, we're going to do these things. And then she taught me a lot about Buddhism. But then, so I got more in contact with Theravada Buddhism of Sri Lanka, because she was a Sri Lankan. And then, but then after I learned all the healing and all that, at some point I wanted something more, something deeper. And because I had those Buddhist experiences, there was a very nice Chinese monk who was a teacher, who was the disciple of a Tibetan master, Kelsang Gyatso, Geshe-la Gyatso. He's a beautiful monk, wonderful monk. And I went for one class, and it was a talk, and I really loved it. And then I went for another, and then I became regular, and then I started learning, and that's how it grew. And then I kind of felt very at home with it. Yeah.
Explain a little bit to me, what is exactly mindfulness and how do we practice it?
Mindfulness is being aware of what you're doing. So, you could be seated here but thinking something else. So to be present in the moment, and for that you can practice at home, like when you're washing dishes, you just focus on, I am washing this dish. I'm going to wash it really well. My hands are washing it. My feet are touching the ground. I am here, right, washing this dish. And just being there at that time. Not thinking of what am I going to cook. Wash. What am I going to cook? Yeah. So just being there in that moment, and also then you can be mindful of your speech, your actions, you know.
And that helps with relaxation.
I think for people who have done mindfulness, I actually haven't done too much mindfulness. I have just learned all this, and I haven't gone to a mindfulness meditation class as such. But it teaches you to be very aware of what you're saying during, and it teaches you to, to what's going on in your mind. So in that way, you're mindful. For example, if you're with a difficult person, and that person is yelling at you and insulting you, say, right? You can think, okay, put yourself in his shoes. I mean, these are techniques we learn in Buddhism. Put yourself in his shoes, right? Or if you don't like somebody, right? You must remember that there are people who like that person. Just because you like that don't like, right? That doesn't mean he's a bad or she's a bad. There are people who like them, right? It's just you are having a disagreement. So that's mindful about your thoughts. So you try not to get carried away with your feelings. In any case, like the mantra meditation deadened my anger. It really became so weak and insipid. And then when I learned Buddhism, because in the Gelug school and Geshe-la, and actually there's a really lovely meditation book which is very ancient, like I think 300 years old. And the Dalai Lama has written something on maybe it's more. So the Dalai Lama has written done a translation of that. It's really, really good. So you have to really watch your speech, watch your mind, try not to release. And these practices, like the 21 meditations, or just turning things in your mind, if you have your own prayer, you can make it like your that you can ingrain it in you, its message, make it part of your nature.
Thank you.
So, Daleena, the art of meditation, if you have been able to master that, it makes you an enlightened person, I believe. Am I right?
Enlightened.
Enlightened.
If you learn meditation is a one tool to use, but in Buddhism there's a lot of things you need to do for enlightenment. In that sense, you can be wisdom. You develop some wisdom. It's called wisdom. But in Buddhism, there's always the energy of a bird with two wings. So if you must have wisdom and what is called empty. Emptiness is also wisdom. It's so difficult to explain. Wisdom and emptiness. So you must have equally balanced compassion and wisdom. Right? Has to be equally balanced. So if you're very compassionate, your wisdom has to be balanced with compassion in order for you to be enlightened. This is a high level of state of mind, but that is possible for a human being.
But we want to take the right action. We want to make the decision to take the right action. Like, for example, we look at the mind, it is thinking all the time. That's the job of the mind. When it thinks, and it's thinking all the time. And when it's thinking, it depends on what you are thinking. You're thinking of good things, you get good feeling. If you're thinking of something which is not very nice, then your feeling is different. So the feelings, the thoughts creating the feelings, and the feelings force you to take action.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And the
these
action can
meditation will
In meditation,
will put a pause on that. Yeah, because sometimes your feelings run away with you, and then you might say and do the wrong things. So it makes you more in control. You can step back. That is why
let your
detachment.
intellect take charge.
Yeah, detachment. Yeah, we don't say, we become a little bit detached, so that from a point of detachment, it's easier to act, because you are objective. Even if you are involved, you can be objective and seeing yourself as the person, as one of the players. So you can actually do that. Yeah. Another good thing about meditation is, if you, and my guru said it, and it's true, you go on the path of meditation, on a certain path, at some point, it sort of becomes auto. So I find that, like now, for example, I haven't been to the temple for a very long time, but I do the practices at home. And if I do the practices at home, I just take on form where I stopped. I haven't digressed as such. So it's now, and that the teacher said will happen at some point. So you can just continue,
Am I going over time?
I have a question online for when.
Yes, sure, go ahead. That's priority.
Clifford, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Okay, thank you. It's just a comment that I would like to make. Well, thank you, madam, for the presentation and the tips you have given us. Well, I follow the 6 lessons course by the Brahma Kumaris some 30 years ago.
Right.
But I have difficulty to concentrate. I find it difficult to meditate. My mind roams from one thing to another.
Right.
But the good thing is that since that time, I have regularly followed for more than 20 years a weekly Sunday program on the major religions, and as well as Buddhism, on French TV, where I have had useful tips on how to concentrate. But this is my weak point: concentration.
Right. So you can take little baby steps, yeah, and maybe say every day, maybe say 5 minutes, sit and just meditate on the breath. And as this distraction comes, just name it. Okay, this is the wandering thought. Okay, this is whatever, this is food, anger, whatever, right? And as soon as you name it, just let it go and come back to your breath. And you just keep on at it, right? You do it every day for a long time, for as just do it every day, and after a while you'll find that you can meditate a bit better. Then you can lengthen the time a little bit more, and you can take it like that.
Thank you.
If you can find classes, that is really good. One that I really recommend is also Sri Shankar. Sri, he has something called life. He has kind of breathing technique that really gets your mind into place. Life dynamic? No, not life dynamics. That's something else. I'll try to find a link and I'll give it to Mig, and then you can have it. Is that okay?
Thank you. Yes, fine. Thank you very much.
Baby steps are the things.
I was going to be the naughty person in the room and ask you the question of a different angle. And that is, when is this meditation going to be selfishness and promoting selfishness in us rather than, because at one point, if it is not at the service of other people, you're only concentrating on yourself.
Yes.
Right? That will be totally against everything, all the principles that we know.
This can happen because,
All right. So at what point is concentrating on me, all right, and the selfishness starts?
Right. So easy, because the ego is a very massive thing and a strong and powerful thing. So that is why in the Buddhist path that I went, they destroy the ego. With ego destruction, one of the you have to achieve concentration. You have to let go of your ego. So and you have to do it for others, not for yourself. That is why now here I said in our meditation, it was not exactly Buddhist, but here I said, like, we're doing it for myself, because you have to be strong and good, right? To be able to help others, and for others. It's not just for me, because sometimes you can see this arrogance in gurus, where they become so good and powerful, and they're just full of themselves and selfish. So you have to destroy the ego. And destroy the ego doesn't mean, like I said, being weak. It means just being sensible, and detached, and not letting your emotions dictate you. We do lots of stuff to destroy the ego. Like, for example, one that as a healer you wouldn't dream of doing, but in this Buddhist path you do it, is that, let's say someone has a lot of bad stuff going on in their life, you imagine it like black smoke, you breathe it into you take it, you use it to destroy your ego, and you give them all your merit. Now, this is something in healing circles, no. You don't do it. You protect yourself with salt and sage and whatnot. But here, you're like willingly taking it on and saying, okay, I'm taking your bad stuff. Here's all my good stuff. Yeah, so things like that.
Yeah.
It trains the mind.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, what it took me to that point was the fact that you were saying breathing, even if you see Buddha living, concentrate on your breathing. And I said to myself, my God, that's totally against the thing. If I see Buddha, I want to go and
No, and then if you see Buddha, you
if
want
I
people.
if I say, well, for example, if I see Christ, do you want to follow? You don't want to be, you don't want to be nothing. You just want to be,
There, yeah.
at his shadow. So self goes. All right, that's And then I said, okay,
But some people
what
might
is
see
the right
Buddha.
and the wrong in this?
But some people might say Buddha, and then they say, well, I saw the Buddha, I must be someone so special.
Can I just ego develops?
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
you
right.
go ahead.
Sorry, no, I said then the ego will develop
Yeah.
further.
Just like Ehsan said, like if I see the Buddha over there, well, I'm just going to grab, his feet or whatever. But then if you are in a meditative state, Ehsan, you are oblivious of the fact that Buddha is, am I right? That Buddha is in front of you. Like you are unaware. Am I right? That you are so enlightened in your experience that the entire universe has dissolved and you are just
Yeah.
yourself
So, yeah,
in a sort of an environment where
yeah,
nothing exists.
yeah.
Awareness is, I don't know whether I-
Different people have different experiences. I'm very visual. I can see all sorts of things. So, what my teacher said is, one thing is the Buddhist monks, they said, if you see things, your experiences are not going to be the same as other people's experiences. Because sometimes I could tell my experience to someone, they say, oh, that's bad, right? Or that's good, right? So they say don't, because it might put you off your practice, right? Or it might make you feel bad. But because each person is an individual, they come with their individual, in Buddhism, karma, they will react and stuff, so on, in their own ways. So what he said is, don't take those experiences, don't run away with them. I mean, they're just there, just experiences.
Are you expected to experience something when you have reached that stage where you have become oblivious of your surrounding? Because when I go to the Brahma Kumari's meditation, then through guided meditation, they attempt to take you to that space where you are not aware of your surroundings, you are not aware of the people around you, you are in an environment where you just have to experience the bliss they call it, I haven't reached that stage.
And that's okay, you
Wait.
just keep doing that. That is their method. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you just keep following the method. And then at some point, you will make more and more breakthroughs. Yes.
Kamla, please take my hand with you when you're going, because you're far ahead of me. So
I have been going there for
I
quite
know,
some
but
time.
in that journey,
Yes,
there is such a steps towards it, and everybody is on their own journey.
that's right.
Yeah, can I ask you one question? In this form of meditation, there are no mantras as such.
Yeah, there are.
So what Sarigama Pada is not a mantra,
No, it's
no,
not.
but mantra would be a select word which will be
There
given
are.
to individuals, like in transcendental meditation.
Yeah.
They have to take out that the mantra is given to the person by the teacher, stays with you, and you don't give to somebody else. And that is the concentration you have to keep on saying. It's the bad thought or force that is not directly related to your meditation comes in, as you say, let go. So if the thought comes that is not good for you, you just say the mantra, and that lets that thought get out of your mind. And you continue doing that for a period, as you said, for about 15 minutes. And I can guarantee you can sit like this and close your eyes and focus and then say, I'll finish this meditation in 15 minutes. And you open your eyes exactly on the dot.
So
It
that's
takes
good.
a practice. I used to do it many years ago.
Mm.
I have not been doing it. Gradually starting to do that again. But
Oh,
this
that's
is very much similar to that. I saw you finish it in time as well. But was it through your mindset or just you were conscious of the time?
I don't know. I thought it was time to finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it come to you voluntarily by a
Uh,
biological clock or so?
No.
No.
No. Yeah.
Mind is so conscious. Without us, our subconsciousness
Yes.
is away.
The mind is an amazing thing.
One question, please.
Yes.
What is the state of enlightenment? What do we expect to be at that stage, please?
I wish I
That's a
But
bit
no,
deeper.
it's the point where you are not affected by any concepts. So in the Heart Sutra, they say like no sound, no color, no feelings, no everything. It is a point of stillness where you are not affected by any emotions, any thoughts, any colors, nothing. But it doesn't I don't know, I have not enlightened. I don't know. And I think my guru was enlightened. He died in August last year. It is really amazing. I hadn't been to the temple, although I live here, and there is a temple in Delhi now. But on his day of death, he didn't tell, no one was informed, because in the Tibetan practice, they stay 2 days because they believe that the life is still in the person for 2 days. So the day he actually died, no one knew except his close teachers. And I went on that day to his temple. And I didn't know, we had a really beautiful day program. And then next day we learned that was the day he died.
I'm sure he is in peace now.
Uh,
My point now is, why do we have to be ignoring our feelings or colors or sounds? Because they make sense to me to have feelings,
Yeah.
negative, positive, loving, whatever.
Yeah, because of the human nature. And as you were saying, someone said that you either like, dislike, right, or neutral, and you react accordingly. So this can lead you to conflict, to negative karma, and the seeds will go into your subtle body, your very subtle body, into that reservoir of karmic seeds, and will cause you to be born again and again and again. So,
Like reincarnation.
yes. And because Buddhism, we believe in reincarnation, so you are born again depending on your karmic seeds. But if you can move away from all of that, then you're free.
One more little question.
Yeah.
Just for
This is my
understanding.
I'm not an expert in Buddhism. Yes.
Yes. Saregama
Mm.
and starting with Om.
Mm.
I just want to understand that sometimes people like to say the same, but silent. Or in this meditation, is it necessary to say like Om, or you can say it in the mind?
You can say it in the mind too.
What is the norm?
But in our tradition, it is the method that we say it loud.
You say it loud.
Yeah.
There must be a reason for that. That it makes you focus, is it?
The vibration reaches
Vibration,
others,
yes.
because not everybody can get the vibration.
Yes.
Then the vibration of the person who's saying it
So,
can say it.
It's preferable to say it loud.
Yeah, but if you're doing it alone, you don't have to say it. Yeah.
No,
So
it's
by
interesting.
saying it out loud, you're using your breath.
Yes.
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 Whereas if you're doing it silently, your breathing is not
Okay,
incorporated
so that's
into
right,
it.
it's very much related to breathing, right?
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, possibly.
the other side of it is true that you also, as you're saying it, you hear it,
You hear it, yes.
Yeah.
right?
It's
And then
more,
that will
more.
that will
concentration.
re-emphasize.
It all helps.
Yeah, yeah.
And earlier you asked me about mantras because Sarigama is not a mantra,
Yeah.
but the things that follow, like the next set is Lam Wam Mam Ram,
Yeah.
which also resonates with it. And then the next ones have like 3 words, like Om Namah, that is kind of a mantra. And then it goes like, it builds up. So,
Give us some guide where we can go and start reading more about it.
about this
Some
particular
links you
method,
have, you
Yeah,
can give us.
you call me home and I'll give you both a 1-hour session. I don't know whether, but I can give you some links to Sadhguru saying the Bija mantra of the chakras.
Chakras, yeah.
Yeah,
understand,
Sadhguru has a really nice one, and I listened to that yesterday, and I thought this would be a link for people who want to follow up. And then I also got a link for Sarigama and backwards, you know, and I'll give you those links.
It'll be interesting to now read all these things.
So I really enjoyed giving
Yeah.
you this
Thank you.
meditation,
Thank
and
you.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.